What if this life isn't what it seems? What if everything you consider real is just a representation, an environment meticulously designed to convince you it's the only reality? This isn't just a movie plot. From ancient mystical schools to modern physics labs, one unsettling idea keeps emerging: reality might not be physical, and consciousness could be the true foundation of everything. Think about it. We identify with our bodies, our personalities, our stories. But what if this is all just an avatar, a character we're playing in an incredibly advanced video game? If that's true, then death changes completely. It's not an end, but a transition. Your consciousness doesn't die. The avatar does. If this is a virtual reality, then your body is a computed avatar. That computation has to happen somewhere else, somewhere non-physical. This means the idea that your brain creates consciousness is wrong. It means you, as a unit of consciousness, are immortal. It also means you have a purpose. According to many spiritual traditions, we've lived multiple lives. If that's true, we've already passed through what we call death maybe many times, and yet here we are. This suggests something powerful. This world, this very moment, is the afterlife. We're not waiting to get there, we're in it right now. What we call life is just a continuation of consciousness, a learning cycle designed to help us understand what we truly are. The simulation reveals itself through synchronicities, déjà vu, and familiar patterns playing out in new scenarios. These aren't coincidences. They're part of the system, guiding our evolution. So, the real question isn't what happens after we die, but what we choose to do, knowing we're already on the other side. Awakening doesn't come with death. It comes with awareness. But to understand this, we need more than just ideas. We need a model that brings science and experience together. That's where a key figure enters, Thomas Campbell, the physicist who crossed the threshold. Thomas Campbell is not a guru or a mystic in the traditional sense. He's a physicist and mathematician who has worked on advanced projects for NASA. His life took an unexpected turn in the 1970s when he joined a team studying something science still couldn't explain: the ability to leave the body and travel through other dimensions. This was at the famous Monroe Institute, founded by Robert Monroe, a pioneer in consciousness exploration. Monroe had spontaneous out-of-body experiences and dedicated his life to studying them. Campbell, the young physicist, was brought in to bring scientific rigor to these investigations. He designed computer models to correlate subjective reports with measurable data like brainwave frequencies. But Campbell wasn't just an observer. Using Monroe's hemisync technology binaural sounds that can alter mental states, he became an active participant. He had his own profound out-of-body experiences. What he discovered there challenged all his scientific training. Consciousness, it seemed, could access other realities just as real as our own, interact with other intelligences, and receive information beyond the limits of the body and time. This led him to form a daring hypothesis. What if everything we consider physical reality is nothing more than a simulation, controlled by a larger system of consciousness? Years after his experiences at the Monroe Institute, Campbell developed his My Big Toe, which stands for My Big Theory of Everything. It's a theory that aims to integrate science, consciousness, and the ultimate nature of reality. In his theory, Campbell proposes something radical. Reality is not physical. It's virtual. What we experience as matter, space, and time is just an interface, a simulation created and sustained by a larger system of consciousness. We are not asterisk and asterisk the body. The body is an avatar that consciousness uses to experience this material world. So who's running this simulation? Campbell says it's a larger consciousness system to which we all belong. Imagine a universal consciousness that divides itself into countless individual units, like branches of the same tree. Each of us is one of those units, exploring, choosing, and living our own experience, but all part of the same whole. We don't remember our origin. but we carry an accumulated level of consciousness quality from many other lives within this simulation. This isn't just a computer game. It's an existential simulation where each of us participates to learn, grow, and evolve. If this physical reality is just one simulation, can we access other non-physical realities? Campbell says yes, and he's experienced it. During his out-of-body experiences, his consciousness would detach from his physical body and access non-ordinary environments. He describes these places as being as vivid and coherent as our world, sometimes even more so. For Campbell, these weren't dreams or hallucinations. They were informational spaces within the same consciousness system environments for learning and transition. In one of these non-physical planes, Campbell recounts being given a unique role to observe consciousnesses at the threshold of physical death. He wasn't a guide or a judge, but a silent witness. He describes a transitional state, a sort of bardo where consciousness begins to detach from its earthly avatar. This space isn't a place of disappearance but of transformation. It is a temporary simulation where consciousness assimilates its life experience and prepares to return to the larger system. Just as many people with near-death experiences have reported, loved ones who have already passed often appear during this process. Their role is to ease the transition and lovingly support the passage into that new state of being. From this perspective, death is not an end but an intelligently orchestrated transition. Dying is like closing a video game session. The spirit, that individual node of consciousness, simply continues its journey in a greater, ever-evolving system. If this is true, then this life is just one phase in a much broader experience. The game is still unfolding. What will you do with this awareness? Thanks for watching. If this sparks something in you, hit that like button, subscribe for more deep dives into consciousness, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. See you next time! Have you ever felt a strange sense of déjà vu, as if you've lived a moment before? Or maybe you've noticed a series of uncanny coincidences, synchronicities that seem too perfect to be random. According to physicist Thomas Campbell, these aren't just glitches in your brain. They're signals from the very fabric of our reality, hints that we might be living inside a sophisticated virtual simulation. Campbell doesn't see these signs as punishments or rewards. Instead, he views recurring patterns or karmic loops as lessons designed for our growth. It's like repeating a level in a video game until you finally learn the right strategy to advance. Each loop is a fresh opportunity to choose differently, with more clarity, less reactivity, and more love. And what about those experiences that seem to defy time itself, like déjà vu or dreams that predict the future? Campbell suggests these are leaks from a universal information field, a kind of cosmic database holding all the information of the simulation. The ancient Hindus called this the Akashic Records. Think of it as the central server of the game we're all playing. Every choice, every experience, every possibility past, present, and future is stored there. When you experience déjà vu, your consciousness might be momentarily accessing a fragment of that database, like recalling a previous save point in the game. When you have a precognitive dream, perhaps you're glimpsing a potential future, a probability the simulation has already calculated. These aren't system glitches. They are windows into the true nature of our reality. A reality where time isn't a straight line, but a vast data field your consciousness can tap into. These signs, synchronicities, loops, déjà vu, dreams are the language of the simulation. So, the next time you feel that strange familiarity or notice an impossible coincidence, don't just dismiss it. Pay attention. It could be a signal, a nudge from the system, pointing you in the right direction as you navigate this incredible game. But this reality doesn't just send signals. It also receives them. If our reality responds to our choices, then our intentions are more than just thoughts. They are commands written into the code of the game. Every time you choose with clarity, every time you think, feel, or act from a deep place of awareness, you are actively modifying the flow of the simulation. This is where we enter the realm of intention, the silent power that not only interprets reality but also shapes it. What if you're not just a player? What if you're a programmer, rewriting invisible lines of code with your attention, your emotion, and your purpose? So, what if your thoughts could literally shape the world around you? Not as a fleeting wish, but as a genuine force that alters the simulation you live in. For Thomas Campbell, this isn't magic, it's the power of conscious intention. In his work, My Big Toe, Campbell explains that we are co-creators of this virtual reality. We don't just passively observe the game. We help program it with every choice, every interaction, and every intention we hold. But here's the key, not all intentions carry the same weight. A shallow desire, like casually tossing a coin into a wishing well, is weak. True, powerful intention is born from the core of your being, a place of pure clarity, charged with genuine emotion and a strong sense of purpose. This kind of intention has a real impact because it changes future probabilities within the simulation. A classic example is the placebo effect. When someone truly believes a sugar pill will heal them, their health often improves. It's not because the pill is magical, but because their positive intention literally shifts the probability toward healing. Scientific studies have confirmed time and again that a focused mind, held with deep conviction, can influence real-world outcomes. But intention goes far beyond health. It can influence any uncertain situation, from finding a new job opportunity to resolving a personal conflict. Quantum physics has shown us that we don't live in a solid, predetermined reality. We exist in a field of infinite possibilities. At the subatomic level, particles don't have a defined state until they are observed. They exist in a superposition of states, a shimmering web of probabilities. It has speculated that consciousness, the very act of observing and focusing our attention, is what collapses that cloud of potential into a single concrete reality. Applied to our everyday lives, this means our decisions, thoughts, and intentions can directly influence which of all possible futures manifests. Campbell says, we don't control all the factors in the game, but we can absolutely tip the scales towards certain outcomes. He explains that this co-creation with the simulation happens on 3 levels. First, interpretation. Every event is neutral until you assign it a meaning. If you interpret rejection as a personal failure, your reality becomes heavy and difficult. But if you see it as a valuable lesson, it transforms into an opportunity for growth. Second, interactions. Your actions always generate reactions. If you are kind and cooperative, you create an environment of connection. If you are selfish or critical, you build barriers. Just like in a multiplayer game, your behavior shapes the world that others reflect back to you. And third, conscious intention. By focusing your mind from an authentic place, free from fear and limiting beliefs, you can influence what is to come. It's like programming the simulation's code, adjusting the script of your own experience. However, there are limits. You can't change the fundamental rules of the simulation, like making a rock roll uphill or force the choices of others. But you can transform your personal reality by clearing out your internal noise. Campbell insists that fear, ego, and rigid beliefs are what block our co-creative ability. Meditating, quieting the mind, and connecting with your essence allows you to focus your intention with real power. And here's the most fascinating part. You don't co-create just for yourself. As interconnected consciousnesses in a vast network, your intentions ripple out and affect others. An act of kindness or a brave choice doesn't just change your own game. It sends waves through the entire system, inspiring others to evolve. As Campbell says, changing yourself is the greatest contribution you can make to the world. So, how do you want to co-create your reality? Choose consciously, and you'll discover that you're not just playing the game, you're helping to design it. At the heart of this universe, we find an essential polarity: fear and love. Fear separates, fragments, and leads to chaos and disorder. Love, on the other hand, integrates, organizes, and opens the door to evolution. This fundamental duality has been recognized for centuries, from ancient Hermetic principles to contemporary theories of consciousness. As the Campbellian states, everything is dual. Everything has its pair of opposites. Thomas Campbell takes this idea even further. He suggests that the primary goal of consciousness is to evolve by reducing its entropy, that is, its level of disorder. And he argues that love is not just a lofty emotion. It is the most efficient and ordered way for consciousness to operate. That's why he states, quite simply, love is the lowest entropy configuration. When you choose to love, to cooperate, to share, to understand, you align your consciousness with the evolution of the entire system. It's as if you're helping the system update itself, improving the code line by line with every conscious, loving act. Modern science, like epigenetics, is beginning to confirm this. We now know that our emotions and decisions directly affect how our genes are expressed. Choosing love doesn't just transform your mind. It can literally transform your body. It's like reprogramming your own biology to vibrate in harmony with your highest purpose. Our very bodies reflect this truth. We are a collection of billions of cells, all working together in cooperation to sustain life. Love is that cooperative intelligence that makes existence possible. Fear, on the other hand, disrupts this flow, generating conflict and separation. But this evolution doesn't happen automatically. It requires our attention, our practice, and our willpower. Campbell proposes 3 essential steps to accelerate this process. First, conscious meditation. Silencing the mind to connect with a deep intention based on love, like recalibrating your internal compass. Second, active self-observation. When fear, anger, or an automatic reaction arises, pause and honestly look at what's driving you. Changing even one reactive response can alter the entire course of your script. And third, daily loving choices. Helping someone, truly listening, sharing what you have, and acknowledging others. Every single gesture leaves a mark. Every decision helps rewrite the program. And this change doesn't just stay with you. It spreads like a wave through the network of interconnected consciousnesses we all inhabit. Spirituality has always known this. Love is the ultimate force that unites. From love your neighbor in Christianity to the universal compassion of Buddhism, these ancient teachings resonate perfectly with Campbell's modern vision. They aren't opposing languages. They are converging paths pointing to the same truth. Love is the force that elevates, organizes, and unifies. And perhaps that is the ultimate goal of this simulation we find ourselves in. To remember who we truly are, and to consciously evolve toward unity. You're inside the game. You are at this exact moment, right now. And you can choose to play consciously. That's all for today's video. I hope this information has been useful and enriching for you. Thank you very much for watching until the end. See you soon.